Miss Semaine. I think it's so important to celebrate female artists because there just isn't enough recognition in museums, galleries, and books right now. You have given me the impossible task of condensing the entire art history into 26 sections. So because you've done this, I have decided to condense the entirety of female art history into an A to Z for me to go through with you. Let's have a look. Alice Neel is my favourite female artist of all time. She is the greatest portrait artist ever to live, and the inspiration behind my Instagram, The Great Woman Artist, and my podcast of the same name. Alice Neel referred to herself as a collector of souls, and she painted everyone from Andy Warhol to her landlord's son, Benjamin. B is for Barbara Hepworth, the legendary sculptor. Hepworth was known for exploring form and emulating nature in her organic sculptures. Next up, we've got C, Clementine Keith Roach, one of my favourite young artists right now. As if to fuse the historic and the contemporary, Roach transforms traditional Greek vases with protruding arms, feet, hands, and breasts, and often splattered with paint or plaster. She gives you a sensation like a modern-day Elena Shapovniko or something. She is just one of the most exciting artists working today. D is for Dora Maar. Dora Maar was one of the most celebrated surrealist photographers who lived in Paris in the early half of the 20th century. Exhibiting widely throughout the 1930s, Maar set up a studio in her early 20s, and in this time, she thrived, earning herself some of the biggest commissions from her day. E is for Emma Amos. She was a prominent member of the collective Spiral. The Atlanta-born Amos is known for her postmodern figurative paintings and textiles. F is for Frida Kahlo, the Mexican-born left-wing activist who documented her life through portraiture. She documented her dual identity, love, death, religion, marriage, fertility, infertility, and she's arguably the most iconic artist from art history. This is her here. You're going to love her. G is for Gertrude Abercrombie. She is known for her mysterious signature style comprised of dusky skies and minimal clouds. So-called the Queen of Bohemia, Gertrude Abercrombie's flat figures and expansive landscapes became an iconic image in mid-century in America. H is for Have Karaman. Forced to flee Iraq during the Gulf War, first to Europe before settling in the US, Karaman is known for her ghost-like female figures that draw on her experiences as an Iraqi. I is for Isa Genskin. The German-born Genskin is one of the most important and influential artists in the world. She's known for her multifaceted practice that encompasses a myriad of mediums, including installation and found objects. J is, of course, for Judy Chicago, and Miss Semaine, you're going to love her. She is labelled as the godmother of feminist art. Chicago is famed for her tireless work promoting women and women from art history. Known for her vibrant and colourful minimalist paintings, she is also the maker of the greatest artwork of all time, The Dinner Party, a giant triangular table adorned with the place names of 39 women from history. Think Artemisia Gentileschi to Virginia Woolf. K is for Kudzanai Violet Huami, one of my favourite up-and-coming painters. Young London-based Zimbabwe-born painter Kudzanai Violet Huami is known for drawing from her family photographs and portraying her personal experiences or geographical dislocation and displacement. L, of course, is for Linda Nochlin, the author of the seminal essay, Why Have There Been No Great Women Artists?, which acted as a catalyst to kickstart the feminist movement in 70s America. And I should say this quietly, as I have so many museums that are my favourite, but MoMA really is the greatest modern art museum. Think Faith Ringgold to Sarah Z to Howardina Pindell to Paula Waddesdon Becker's self-portrait. They have one of the greatest collections in the whole world. N is for Nicole Eisenman, populating her works with emotionally resonant, cartoonish figures formed out of exaggerated, painterly lines and intense colours. Eisenman ultimately explores the human condition. Her view is remarkably intimate, with images of swarming interiors and internal moments. O is for Ophelia, reinterpreted by Lisa Bryce. South African-born Bryce lathers layers of art historical references on her beautiful paintings, including cannily interweaving characters from historical works such as Millet's Ophelia to disrupt art history through the male gaze. He, of course, is for Peggy Guggenheim and the Peggy Guggenheim Museum. the eccentric art collector and dealer who left her legacy at Venice's best museum, the Peggy Guggenheim collection, full of surrealist and contemporary wonders. Q is for Queen Elizabeth by Genevieve Figgis, one of my favourite Irish artists. Working in oil and acrylic and at small to mid-scale, Genevieve Figgis produces paintings rich in colour, texture and humour, often reimagining and restaging historical works from Boucher, Fragonard, Watteau. She is particularly interested in scenes that feature sumptuous domestic interiors and country stately homes. R is for Robin F. Williams. Brooklyn-based painter Robin F. Williams explores narratives about childhood and identity in gender whilst being swept up in her electric palette, breaking down ideas around femininity that not only play with ideas around the hyper-idealized world of the 1970s advertising, but also its similarities to the historical language of European oil painting, which both depicted women in such extraordinarily sexualized male gaze way. S is for Samaya Critchlow, one of my favourite young London-based artists right now, who reinterpretates the female nude with her sumptuous and sometimes miniature paintings. T is for Tate Modern, my other favourite museum in the world, of course. U is for Ukiyo Movement and Katsushika Oi, described by some as the hidden hand of Hokusai. Katsushika Oi was an accomplished painter and assistant to her father, Hokusai, who created the very famous Great Wave of Kanagawa. V is for Viva Grenti and Lina Lepelletier. Last year's Venice Biennale saw this duo claim the highly regarded Golden Lion Award for their outstanding operative performance Sun and Sea Marina for the Lithuanian Pavilion. You're going to love them. W is for Wangechi Mutu. Through vibrant and powerful collage, films, sculptures, and installations, Wangechi Mutu explores sexuality, femininity, and politics and myth-making in her work. X is for Zhang Ying. Chinese sculptor Zhang Ying explores representations of the female nude and its internality through her work in fiberglass. Y, of course, is for Yayoi Kusama, one of my favourite artists ever. Japanese sensation Kusama is known for her spotted pumpkins, glittering mirror rooms, and infinity nets that allow us to see the world from her totally unique perspective. And finally, Z is for Zora Opoku, current artist for Hayward's Billboard Commission. German Ghanaian Zora examines political, historical, cultural, and socio-economic influences in the context of contemporary Ghana. Oh my gosh, Miss Semaine, I am absolutely exhausted. It was so good to speak to you about my top 26 female artists from art history. I'm going to go get a cup of tea. I hope to see you soon, and special thanks to our friends at Alighieri.